gaming DAO coming up. And they're founded by pro Web2 gamers and content creators from Cloud9, SK Gaming, and some others. So thanks to those guys. And then Rugged Revenants is our project of the week. They're VC funded. They're a WTE platform that's being developed by DevHouse. These guys are also on the Savannah team, so they've helped develop the whole Savannah universe, if you will. They've got their rug token, and the NFT is going to have massive in-game benefits. It's a Docs team, and these guys have experience from EA Sports, Nintendo, and some others. So thanks to Rugged Revenants. With that, guys, we're going to start running. So we'll then we'll go to Koopy here in a second, but we'll do the normal run through, right? Quick intros with the team. So we'll go Unchained, Zoolana, Many Nations, Rogue, Star, and an Intergalactic Monkey Space Odyssey. Give us like a 1 to 3 minute kind of high level intro, and then we'll circle back and go deeper with each of you. If you're in the community, we'd love to hear your questions too. So feel free to request the mic. What I would ask is, please request during if you got a question, let's say for Zoolana, do it when we're going deep with Zoolana. Please don't request the mic when we're talking like Many Nations about what they're doing if you have questions for somebody else, right? So let's try to stay organized in that fashion. So with that, Koopy, what's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm excited for this one. We've got some solid projects today, so I can tell it's going to be a long and interesting one. So let's crack on.
Okay. Well, let's start rolling. Alex is here too. We've got Zoolana. I know DD80 is representing Zoolana. Zoolana accounts here, and with that, we'll start. We're about 4 minutes late, so let's send the mic over to Unchained. Unchained, guys, thanks for coming on. Love to kind of hear a high level what you're doing, and good morning.
How's it going, everybody? Good morning, Moon. What's up, buddy?
Good to see you, dude.
Good to see you too, man. So my name's Andy. I'm one of the founders for Unchained. Just the quick sort of synopsis and overall is that we're a gaming development studio. We're launching May 23rd. We haven't announced who we'll be launching with, but we will be starting out with our initial launch, releasing our first game, which is called Kingmaker. It's a head-to-head PvP. It's already polished up, ready to go. We're going to be going one-on-one, head-to-head combats for prize pools and all sorts of fun stuff. Unchained as a brand is aiming to be cross-chain, and what we plan to do is try and create a community of people that work collaboratively and combatively against each other, just to sort of bring the chains together and a lot of the big projects that we're all friends with, and really sort of start transcending, the blockchain sort of the chain specific mentality that a lot of us have adopted. So that's pretty much us in a nutshell. We are launching the 23rd, like I said. The supply has not been released yet, but we are doing a bunch of whitelisting right now, so we still have some opportunities for people to get whitelisted, and we're doing so in a little bit of a different way. We're actually going where you have to compete in head-to-head 1v1 battles in order to earn your whitelist. So it's a little bit outside of the whole grind meta and all that fun stuff. We're a half docs team. Myself, I am not doxed, but I'm lucky to be one of the guys that has a reputation in the industry from some of my derugging activities with Cyberfrogs and some other projects. So, that's us in a nutshell, and that's pretty much what we got right now.
Good start, Andy. Thanks for coming up. Good to see you. So 23rd, right around the, I guess we got a couple days left, right? 10 days. So look forward to digging deeper with you. Let's head over to Zoolana.
We'll be here.
Zoolana, good morning to you guys. I know it's been a little bit since we hooked up, but I think you've been on the show 2 or 3 times, but I'm curious to see what you guys are building and give us a quick intro.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy to be here. Thanks for having us. For anyone that has not heard of us so far, we've been in the space for a while now. Zoolana, we're building a mobile real-time strategy game with NFT exportable assets. So we're building a game that's going to resemble games like Clash of Clans or Infinity Kingdom, if you guys are familiar with those games. And the general idea is that any asset that you spend money on or earn in-game, you'll be able to export on the blockchain. And so obviously that will be on Solana. It's the space that we're building in. And yeah, things are going great. We onboarded the game studio over these past few months, and we have an awesome team that we're working with. The studio is one that's worked with Activision Blizzard, Disney. They have a few other credits to their name, and the team is pretty stellar. We have a development meeting actually right after this space, so we will have to jump in about 50 minutes, but the development is going great, and there's lots of interesting design decisions being made right now about, how exactly is combat going to work, how exactly is your settlement going to look, where are you going to upgrade what. It's pretty exciting, and it's great to be moving forward with the actual development of the product and not just thinking about NFT launches at this point.
Very cool. Yeah, usually the show goes 90 to 120 minutes. But yeah, if you guys can leave it an hour, that's totally cool too. Just now that I know, it's good to know. We'll make sure we give you a chance to kind of bow out at the end of the hour. But yeah, excited for what you guys are doing, and we'll dig in here in a few minutes. Thanks for coming up.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
All right, Mini Nations. Good morning, guys. Give us a quick intro.
Hey, yeah. So I'm Grace. I run community at Mini Royale Nations. I'm joined with Alex, who I think might be having some technical difficulties, but
really quick, Alex. I've been trying to add you, and it says there's an error, so maybe quit Twitter and come back up. But yeah, keep rolling. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, no worries. So we are a first-person shooter set on top of a land strategy game. We operate on Solana. So we incorporate Solana NFTs through various aspects of the game, like through our battle pass. So as you grind through those, you can earn loot, collection, weapons, and we also have a premium collection where players can hold these for various benefits, including like a battle pass boost and airdrops for Cheddar token launching in June, as well as other airdrops for weapons, and then a ton of other stuff. So we've got about 2 million registered users, 600,000 monthly active. So we're pretty big, strong, thriving game, and we have a ton of awesome updates coming up for our current season, which is season 2. It's a cyberpunk themed season, so you can play in game with our cyberpunk collection of avatars. We've just launched leaderboard tournaments, and coming up we have a ton of stuff with season 3, including like clan wars, which might even be this season. But yeah, happy to be here. It's been a minute since we've been on the show, so really excited to give you guys the updates. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Quick question for you. Do you ever partner with other projects like Yaku? They're big into the cyberpunk theme as well. I don't know if that ever makes any sense, but just curious if there's some opportunities for connectivity.
Yes, synergies. Yeah, we actually right now are pretty heads down on development and launching some of the core mechanics and features of the game. So I do think we would be open to some kind of interesting partnerships in terms of game content or just on the community side a little bit later. But I have seen that project, and I do think it's awesome. So yeah, it's definitely something we're open to. But right now is as I'll say, and I'll count the amount of times we say building in the space, but it's building season, so maybe something in the future.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Okay, thanks for the quick intro. Good to see you guys. Let's head over to Rogue Star. Good to see you back. Good morning. Mike's over to you.
Yo, what's good, everybody? I hope the wind's not too bad. But yo, last time we were here was so long ago. Like, so much has changed since then and now. So I think last time we were here, we had the racing demo that we put out. And for those who don't know, Roguestar, we're an indie game studio, Rise Games. We're building out Roguestar, which is a sci-fi MMORPG. It's like an infinite universe where you have your avatar and you're exploring this world or universe, and you're going through different planets, and you're collecting resources and trading and battling other ships or space pirates with your friends, and exploring ruins and fighting bosses. It's like a World of Warcraft meets Wing Commander or something like that. But that's kind of the idea behind the game. And we're obviously integrating Web3 technologies into it. So all the items that you come across, you're going to own as NFTs, at least the ones that mean something. We have the in-game currencies. There's Rent tokens, which is like the in-game currency. And then we have Nova token, which is like the premium in-game currency that you use in these games. And then we also have our Star Passes, which are minting on the 19th with fractals, which is kind of like a game pass that gives you access to these Nova tokens early. But yeah, since then and now, we actually placed second in the Solana hackathon, which was big for us, and that really changed the game for us. They put eyeballs on Roguestar for once, because our Discord has grown a lot since then. I think we're at like 16,000 now, and our Twitter's at 5,000. Or as last time, I think we had like nothing. I think we were just nobodies back then. But yeah, it's good to be here. We already got playable content. We have our combat demo on our website that people can start playing right now, and just having fun with it. And every 4 to 6 weeks, we release like new vertical slices of the game as we build up to like the final release. So we're working on our social demo right now, which is like it's like a metaverse, and you have your own room and you can do stuff and host events and whatnot. It's kind of like that metaverse everybody likes. And then we have a tons of other stuff that we're coming out with, like more ships and PvP scenarios and planetary stuff. But the idea is every 4 to 6 weeks, we release like another playable experience, and we put it all together in Q1 of 2023. So that's a quick intro to Roguestar. And yeah.
All right, good intro. Thanks for jumping on this morning. Good to see you guys. Good to see you growing. Really quickly, guys, if you would, retweet the space. I think we've got maybe 40 people in here, so pretty small room. A ton of folks do listen to the recording, but obviously we've got 5 lit projects, so help us get more folks in to hear what these guys and gals are building. Would appreciate it. But yeah, Rogue, good to see you guys again. Let's head over to Chris with Intergalactic Monkey Space Odyssey.
Huh? What are we doing? No, I'm
You're
just
doing
joking.
intros, man. Come on.
I'm kidding, you fuck. So we actually just released the demo to the first portion of our open world map. It's been hard for people to understand what we're doing. Now you can kind of see it. We actually have built an open world environment that allows you to find mobs, grind mobs, and collect tokens. This allows you to experience a lot of different mechanics and a lot of different, like we want to do, not POAPs, but like random drops based on the time of which you're in the environment or how many kilometers you've traveled. This could spawn something on the map that would make you go over there to receive more rewards, or we could host events on servers, kind of like in-world or in-game events. And so we've done this in Unreal Engine. I'm preparing a video today to show people how to use Shadow, which is like a virtual machine service. So what we've basically done here is we're trying to create the most composable NFT environment. And we've built technology that allows us to make other people composable as well. So basically we are a P2E game, but we offer PvE and PvP inside of Unreal Engine in an open world environment. However, we also offer to bring our characters inside of any of your games. So there's no one in this room that has a game in Unity, Unreal, or WebGL that I cannot bring my characters into. And a lot of people have a hard time accepting that. Today, you're going to see it. The customizer will be released this evening, and you guys will watch me create an FBX model on a WebGL app and save that file, which will replace the NFT in my wallet, and that becomes the in-game character. So you guys will see what we're talking about. That's what we do. We build the most composable P2E utilities on blockchain.
I was going to tweet out. Okay, cool. Thanks for the intro. But yeah, you're doing a bunch of crazy stuff, which I want to dig into here. So, Koopy, I'll come over to you and ask you to give us some guidance as to who you want to hit first. But really quick, guys, it's Koopy and I doing the Morning Mint Show. We've got Unchained, Zoolana, Mini Nations, Roguestar, and Intergalactic Monkey Space Odyssey. We are presented by 3D Gamers Guild. Check those guys out. I'll be putting up a tweet on them and Rugged Revenants here in a few minutes. But Koopy, where do you think you want to start this morning?
A lot of choices. I mean, I think we just go down the list and talk to some of the people, especially ones, the ones that need to leave in an hour or so. I think it was Zoolana.
All right, let's head over to Zoo.
Yeah, shoot.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, thank you for coming on. Just give us a like. Let's go deeper into what you guys are doing, what you've been working on over the last how long has it been now? Last couple of months.
Yeah.
Go through it, roadmap a little bit.
So development has been in full swing for about a month now. Before that, since our mints in January and November of last year, we've been doing a lot of the foundation laying in order to move forward. So for anyone listening and any of the projects listening actually that are interested in launching a token, to do it legally, the current suggestion by the experts in the field, and this is not legal advice on my part, is actually extremely complicated. So if you look at how the Ethereum Foundation set up the legal structure to launch their token way back in the day, that's become kind of like the world standard for how you need to set up your corporate structure to legally launch a native token. And it's extremely complex. There's like 5 different corporate entities that you have to create. Some of them are foundations, some of them are other types of businesses, and it's not easy, and there's lots of details involved. So what we've been involved in over the past few months has been setting up these different entities, making sure that the groundwork for the project is laid, so that as we're getting into development, as we're going to raise more money, we have the foundation to be able to do that in a professional way. So it's not really sexy, and it's not really fun for the community to hear that, yeah, we've got our heads deep in lawyer calls and working on paperwork. But that's been the truth of what we've been working on for the past few months. And it's exciting for us to finally be moving into game development, because, of course, that's why we started the project. And that's really where our passions lie. So, yeah, it's an exciting turning point for us, because we want to be focused on developing out the combat system, and we want to be focused on figuring out exactly how heroes are going to be implemented into the game. Those are the questions that we want to be asking. So, yeah, it's looking up for us, and we're excited about the next few months.
I mean, I got to disagree with you. I think it's definitely sexy. The fact that you guys are laying that foundation, specifically looking into, how to set up the legal side of it. That's always exciting to me, because, obviously we've had to deal with it as well. So it's interesting to see how everyone navigates around those hurdles. It's all different advice in different countries and so on and so forth. But I'm happy that that's where you guys that's where your head is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you get a kick out of it. For us, it's like, I don't know, personally, it's interesting to me from like the how to play the game standpoint of like, oh, okay, the answer to how you do this is you set this, this, and this. But it's just taken us a while, and there's so many questions about details involved that, it's not why I got into the space, and it's not why the international corporate law is like that's not where my interests lie. So it's interesting in the abstract. I do agree. And now, of course, I'm always looking to connect with other people building in the space too, because there's so many questions also about how specifically did you set up this, and when you're signing token agreements, did it look like this? And yeah, it is a whole field of space that like is pretty specific to crypto.
So now let's talk about what you actually do enjoy doing, and that's creating games and getting involved with the community. So tell me about the game. What's something that you're really excited about? Like, it's maybe a feature, or could be really anything.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about that. So right now, what we're working on with our game designer is actually designing the combat system. So I don't know. We might do some series of reveals around this as like the actual decisions we're making around combat. But we're trying to have it be more interesting than the games that we've kind of mentioned so far. So Clash of Clans has these moments of decision-making where you place troops. You have decision-making pre-combat where you decide which troops to train. And then as you go into combat versus an opponent, you have these decision-making moments where you place your troops individually around the map. And then your troops kind of take off and they fight on their own. And that seems to be a good system. People like that. Clash of Clans is extremely popular. But we kind of wanted to develop on that a little bit more. And we don't love the idea of units fighting versus buildings, although we haven't settled in stone. It could be that's the direction we end up going. But we like the idea of units fighting units. So there's other games out there, like Infinity Kingdoms is another game that we're taking influence from, where the combat is your units versus your opponent's units. But it's pretty much like an auto battler. You just start, your troops are predetermined, or you've placed your troops before combat starts. It literally just is this army that I chose versus this army that my opponents chose, and now we just see them play out, and whoever has more stats wins. So we're designing a system that goes beyond this to the point where you're placing individual troops on the map and they're going to fight versus your opponent's troops. And where you place your troops matters. So there's going to be some kind of like tactical geometric thinking involved of I need to place these certain troops on the front line and these certain troops on the back line. And I see based on the way my opponent has outlined his army that I need to switch these things around in the back. So it's a little vague right now, and I don't actually want to get into the specifics too much because we are not set in stone, and these things are going to be like big official announcements when we're ready to put them out there. But the combat system is something that we think is going to be pretty innovative in the 4X space, and probably the thing that we're most excited about right now.
That's exciting. I mean, anything that involves. I love playing Age of Empires. I'm sure you're familiar
Yes,
with it.
Like classic.
Yeah, of course. I've played it for years, and so anything that involves a bit of strategy, even if it's like a mobile game, I'm all for that. So I love it.
Awesome.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how the actual NFT ties into the game?
Yeah, for sure. So the way the game is going to function is going to be similar to as the design as we have it right now. Again, we're very early in the design work, but the concept that we have right now is that it's going to function similar to a centralized exchange where your NFTs are going to live in your account to use them in game. And as you want to export items from the game, you'll offboard them from your account, similar to how you would send out an asset from a centralized exchange. So the items themselves will be things like any equipment that you might equip your heroes with, skins for your heroes, the hero characters themselves, some cosmetics for your units, any kind of asset that you can own in the game will be exportable on chain. And once you've exported it from the game and it lives on chain as a Solana NFT, of course, that opens up the whole world of DeFi opportunities as those capabilities get built out, borrowing against your characters, just selling them if you prefer, trading them with friends. The NFT element of the game is really going to unlock the value present in the in-game assets in a way that just doesn't exist for mobile games right now. We're in this space because we are gamers ourselves, and we've played games where we've spent hundreds or thousands of dollars on the game over the years, and that money is just stuck there. And crypto is giving us the opportunity to do better and to make something that functions in a way that's healthier for the user long term. So, I mean, that's why we're doing it.
Can you maybe just share some perspective really quickly on the red versus blue NFT offerings?
Yeah, for sure. So anyone who is kind of just getting into what Zoolana is doing right now and is looking at the mints that we've had in the past, our VIP passes are the alpha editions. So we had the alpha edition mint, the alpha red mint in November of last year, and the alpha blue mint in January of this year. And the difference between those are that holders of each will get certain benefits in the form of NFT drops in the future and over the next few months. And one of the biggest forms of those benefits are drops of our native token. So alpha red holders will get a total allocation of 160,000 tokens if they've held since mint. And our alpha blue holders will get a varying amount between 40 and 80,000 of our native token if they've been holding since mint. Our system is a little complex because we're incentivizing people holding, and it's led to us having one of the lowest listed NFT counts, like one of the lowest listed supplies out of like any NFT. I believe our red is like 1% listed or something like that. But the way it works is pretty much as you hold the alpha edition, every week we take a snapshot, and those snapshots are what make you eligible for the token airdrop once the token is released. So just a heads up to anyone listening, alpha editions are listed on secondary, but you will not get the full, quote unquote, full token allocation from buying one today because we've had a number of snapshots since mint. That it's not to say that that's not to say that you shouldn't go and check it out and maybe learn a bit more about what the alpha editions are offering, but I just want to be clear with everyone listening that they've been around for a while at this point, and there's been many snapshots taken. And there will be more snapshots taken between today and September when we have our IDO scheduled.
All right, very cool. Yeah, I've got one of your reds sitting in my wallet somewhere, one of the wallets. So I guess I'm being snapshotted.
Awesome. Yes, you are. You're being snapshotted.
They're tracking me
Currently. Exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool. Before we move on to one of the other projects, anything else you want to kind of highlight that you think the room should know about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I would say actually anyone here that is interested in fantasy worlds and fantasy storytelling, definitely click on our profile and take a look at what we're doing on Twitter. One thing we're doing to engage with the community on a weekly basis are these weekly lore pieces that we're having our in-house artist work on. So he's building concept art for the world of Zoolana, and we're releasing those pieces every week. And we're having our community, we're rewarding community members for writing stories about those lore pieces. So it's an awesome thing for us because we are able to further kind of expand on the world that we've created. And it's a fun thing for the community too, because people are getting to exercise their creative writing chops and in some cases win a few $100 for doing so. So definitely check out the art that we have listed on our page. We're releasing stuff every week, and it's kind of an exciting thing we're doing to keep the community engaged.
I guess last question for me for you, and then we can move on to one of the other projects, would be just getting this type of a game on iOS. How difficult do you think that's going to be?
Yeah, so we have some questions right now about how exactly it's going to be distributed. We have some, what would you call it? Like role models or examples to look at. There's this one game, it's not Titan Arena, it's like Thetan Arena, and they are actually on iOS and Android, and they have NFT compatibility. So it should be possible. In a vacuum, it would be difficult because Apple, we all know from the Epic Games, or most of us probably know from the Epic Games story, Apple wants to take 30% of every in-app transaction. And once you start implementing crypto, they get really sketched out because they feel like they probably can't access that value as readily as they would any other app on the store. So you kind of have to finagle it. You kind of have to be a little tricky. And we think we should be able to be on iOS and Google Play because we have another game, like I mentioned, Thetan Arena, that has done it. But
I think we lost
Rug?
him.
No worries. I'll just continue what he's saying. So basically, our design of the game should be able to get on the App Store of Apple as well as Google Play with no issues, as of right now. Because Apple and Google Play, specifically Apple, actually, they review their guidelines quite frequently, and if this is actually kind of a loophole that we found. So if let's say the Apple team found this loophole or something, they might change their guideline, but we don't expect it to happen in recent years.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to get on there, which I think you will. Figure that out.
Yeah.
But... All right, guys, thanks for coming up. Good to kind of dig in deep with you. We'll keep rolling through.
Awesome.
As we do, this is the Morning Mint Show. It's Koopy and I. We're doing these shows. We've got our next show actually Monday morning, 8 a.m. Central, with another strong list of guests, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And we are presented by 3D Gamers Guild. Thanks to those guys. Let's head over and talk with Mini Nations. So, Mini, I got lots of questions for you on kind of the land, the NFTs, how NFTs are being used. But maybe just give us, it's been a while since we've kind of been able to dig in deep with you. Maybe just give us a 3-4 minute kind of overview as to, what y'all have been building, I guess the past 3 or 4 months, and then what you're most excited about over the next, quarter or so.
Oh, I'll take this. This is Alex. So I mean, we've been working the majority of the past dev cycles on the shooter gameplay and then clans. So we have a bunch of stuff coming up this month. New clan management, clan wars will be in June. Character and weapon levels, we're adding level progression to our characters, and that all of that level progression will show up in your NFTs. Yeah, just working on polishing all of the core shooter gameplay, and then releasing our tokens, and then the land stuff will come up like Q3, Q4 of this year. So just a lot of stuff in progress. We're pretty heads down building right now.
What's the time frame for the token?
We're going to launch our first token end of Q2. So is that what is that, like end of June?
Yeah. Okay, so kind of right around the corner there.
Yeah, we're going to launch like tokens in a more like staged, like risk mitigated way, so we can balance one token at a time.
And as far as the NFTs go, like a lot of us buy into projects because of the art or because of potential utility, and everyone's looking for like 100x, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like the NFTs that you release through the game have a chance to have like value of 1x, 2x, 5x, 10x?
I mean, the value of the NFTs in gaming is directly correlated to their utility, like in the game. So the NFTs are characters and items in the game, so of course they have utility. Whether that means a 5x, 100x, 1000x, like I don't know, but at least myself and the team at Faraway can control the amount of utility and the amount of work we put into this game. So I'm hoping so. But again, nothing is financial advice, and I cannot predict the pricing in a very volatile market.
Yeah, I'm not looking for you to predict or project that at all, but was just kind of curious as to the lay of the land and how that's been working out. We actually had a show last night where I had a couple of games on NFT projects actually that are kind of maybe similar but different from you. And one thing that came up that I had a question about, maybe you can kind of delve into this. You look at Fortnite, right? They've made X amount of dollars over the past X amount of years selling skins and all these things, right? When you build out an NFT based game where you're giving ownership in tokens, and you're giving ownership to the players, you're potentially giving up some of that revenue, right? You may make it back on the secondary market, right, with royalties and stuff like that, trades. But I'm just curious, have you guys run the numbers at all, just one side versus the other, as to would you actually be giving, a percent up, or would you make out in a positive way in the end through kind of secondary sales of these NFTs, even though you're giving the ownership and tradable ability to the player themselves?
Are you saying like if choosing between doing this game as a pure NFT based game, more as like I guess what is the
Yeah, because like
question?
Fortnite, right? You buy a skin for Fortnite, you can't trade that, right?
Yeah,
As far as I know, you
I
can't
mean
sell
for
it, I should
Fortnite,
say.
it's a way better business model, like not allowing them to trade.
So
Right?
you think you think long term that's a much better business model?
I don't believe in pure NFT based games. Like I think the entire the entire game is based upon trading of NFTs. I don't think that is um, the business model that will give the highest net outcome for the game. I think a game like Fortnite, right, which sells the same thing to hundreds of millions of players and does not allow trading, is the better business model for Epic. What I do believe is that crypto makes economies deeper where the economy already has depth, and makes economies more social by introducing a new set of players who otherwise would not have played your game to begin with. So if you've read our white paper, we're very much so leaning into the token economy. So our token economy is based on like the utility token. Some transactions are priced in Sol, and then we have our governance token Royale. So my big belief is monetizing on the token economy side, and then monetizing through a more DeFi related aspects of the game. So in-game dexes, protocol owned liquidity. Right? This is like what Olympus Pro like pioneered.
Sure.
I believe that will yield the highest net outcome for games with like a Web3 element. It's not going to be pure like NFT trading, unless of
But I
course
guess
you come up with a
that's
Bored Ape.
I wasn't just saying pure NFT. What I was trying to say is like the whole Web3 experience. So do you think like your model that you'll outpace from a revenue standpoint? Like you could have gone the Fortnite route, right? But in your mind, what you guys are building will be more profitable for your business versus the Fortnite model, correct or no?
mean, we're not building Fortnite though. That's the thing. It's like our game is a shooter, but set on top of a strategy game. Like the whole goal of the shooter is to lead people into this more economic oriented strategy game in a very easy to understand, like easy to onboard way. So we're not making Fortnite. We're not like purely monetizing on skins. Our first set of NFTs are skins, but they allow you to do things in the game already that you can't do in Fortnite. It's like access to specific quests, staking skins to unlock a premium battle pass. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't exist in Fortnite. So the comparison to Fortnite isn't 100%. Both are shooters, right? But it's a very different economy than Fortnite.
Agreed. I guess what my end of what I'm trying to get at is which model is more profitable for the business. I know they're different.
It depends on the game you're making.
Take your mind out of thinking Fortnite. I think traditional games and how they make money. And maybe like traditional can be so many different things, but the ability of a game to sell skins, no matter what the game experience is, versus what you're building. Do you feel like long-term profitability, is on your side or theirs?
Wait, I'm going to repeat again. I understand your question.
Okay.
It depends on the game you're making, right? It depends what the economy of that game is.
Okay.
Like I said, if you're purely trying to monetize on selling skins, then and they're purely cosmetic skins, like Fortnite, right? I think doing things the way Fortnite is doing is probably the more tried and true way to do it, right? If you allow people to all of a sudden just trade the skins that they already bought, like after they were finished using them, you're probably not going to make as much money as Fortnite did with their free-to-play model, where they're literally selling the same skin like hundreds of millions of times, and nobody can trade.
Exactly right. Yeah. Okay.
Right, but Fortnite has no economy. Like Fortnite
Correct.
is purely a cosmetic economy, which is why I started off saying crypto does two things, right? It deepens economies where there's already economy depth, and two, it makes economies more social by introducing new sets of players. But if your economy doesn't have any depth to begin with, crypto isn't going to do anything for you.
Gotcha.